What's good, everybody? It's Vaughn, and you know, this is where you get that knowledge that you don't get in college. Before we get started, you know I want you to make some money, so just scroll down into the description, click the link next to WeBull, and collect your free stocks. But today, I want to talk to you about how you can buy a house with no money or job. I'll be going through various different strategies. To begin with, I'm going to start off with ways that you can buy a house traditionally with no money. However, it will require you to have a job because you'll have to show proof of income. If you wait until the end of the video, I'll show you ways that you can buy a house with no money, no job, and bad credit. You know, they say there's several different ways to skin a cat. So whichever way works for you, just make it do what it do. So to begin with, the traditional way for beginners. Number one would be NACA. It's a great program that allows you to purchase a home, and they don't look at your credit. They cover the closing costs and the down payment, and there's no PMI. So if you're looking to purchase a home, that is one program that you should look into. So you can go to their website at NACA.com and do further research on their program. If you want to take advantage of the NACA program, you are going to have to attend a workshop, and in that workshop, they're going to explain to you exactly what you need to do in order to qualify for a NACA loan. But they don't put an emphasis on your personal credit score. You just have to show proof of income in order to qualify for that program. The second program is USDA. If you haven't heard of USDA, it's a rural development program where they focus on areas that are rural. And if you would like to purchase a home in that area, you can purchase it for 0% down. In this program, they do not cover the closing costs, so that's something that you'd have to negotiate with the seller. That's the way that you get into that property with no money out of pocket.
USDA website has a very useful tool, which is the eligibility map, and the way that you access that is by going to rd.usda.gov, scroll down, click this, and then go over here and click that. Ooh, and you're right on the map. So the highlighted areas are all of the areas that are ineligible. So you're looking for the areas outside of the highlighted areas, which would be the eligible areas. So if your residence is in one of these unhighlighted areas, that means your house is actually eligible for the USDA loan.
The third way is the VA loan. This is for veterans only. So if you're in any branch of the military, you can take advantage of the VA loan program. So the veterans have a 0% down program. You can negotiate the closing costs with the seller. So as a veteran, that is one way that you can get into a property with no money down. In addition to that, I want you to understand that there are a lot of down payment assistance programs that can be combined with these programs, so you can have more equity in your property, and that will allow you to have a lower mortgage payment on a monthly basis. So you have to do research on the down payment assistance program in your state, in your county, because the down payment assistance program differ based on your city, county, and state. Those were some of the traditional ways that you can purchase a home. Now I'm going to be talking about some of the more creative strategies, and these are typically used for investment property. So with the first strategy, you don't necessarily have to have a job, because the property will dictate whether or not you're able to move forward with the deal. If it ain't a good deal, then there's no deal. So with this strategy, you'd use a hard money loan. Hard money loans are typically used for flips, but some lenders also have long-term products where you can acquire rental property using a hard money loan as well. So let's focus on the product that caters towards flips. So if it's a 12-month loan and you complete the project within 6 months and you make the sale, then you're only paying interest on those 6 months that you carry that loan, plus the points, whatever points you agreed to when you signed the contract. But the way that this works is that you'll typically need 20% down. And like I said earlier, we're focusing on getting these properties with no money down. For the 20%, you put those on business credit cards. These are going to be cards that have 0% introductory rate. These are investment properties, so you have to have a plan in place, and it has to be done within a specific time. So let's say we have $100,000 property. Hard money loan could cover up to 80%, and some of them also cover the repair costs. So you have to shop around with different lenders to see what type of product you can get access to. All you would have to worry about is the $20,000 in this case. And you can pull those $20,000 from a business credit card that has 0% introductory rate, and then you can use that to fund your project. Upon the sale of the project, you would pay back the credit card, you would pay back the hard money lender, the $80,000 plus the repair costs, plus whatever interest you owe them, and then the rest would be profit. And you did all of that with no money out of pocket. So you essentially use OPM, other people's money. Another way that you could purchase a house with no money, no job, and bad credit is through a tax deed or a tax lien auction. Well, what is that? A tax lien is an encumbrance on a property which is senior to the mortgage, which means that if you purchase a property through a tax lien or tax deed auction, it completely wipes out the mortgage and you own that property free and clear, which is different from purchasing a property through a foreclosure auction where you're going to have to pay a lot more for the property and you could possibly have to deal with the second mortgage or other encumbrances on that property. So every year a homeowner has to pay property taxes. However, sometimes people fall behind on their property taxes and they come to a point where they're no longer able to pay their property taxes, and that is where you come in as the investor. You're paying the back taxes on a property with hopes to potentially obtain ownership in that property. If you were to acquire a tax lien, you would get interest on that money because 97% of tax liens are redeemed. It's a safe way to grow your money as well. In some states, they only have the tax lien process in order to acquire the property, but in other states they also have a tax deed. After the tax lien process, the property goes to the tax deed auction where you can bid on the price of the property and you can obtain the property through that auction. Well, how would I acquire these with no money out of pocket? You can withdraw the funds from the 0% introductory business credit cards, and you can use those funds to acquire a tax lien or tax deed. And with the tax lien, if you don't acquire the property, you'll get a nice interest payment on your funds. But with the tax deed, it's already gone through that process. So if you purchase the tax deed, then you obtain ownership of that property. Another creative way to purchase a property is subject to. And what that simply means is subject to the existing finances. But you might be thinking, why would anyone do that? The key to acquiring property using creative financing is finding distressed sellers. I want you to repeat this after me. Distress creates mental unrest. Now say it with your chest. Distress creates mental unrest. So if you find someone that's a few months behind on their mortgage or several months behind on their mortgage, they're going to be very motivated to get out of their situation because a lot of people do not want to go through the foreclosure process. So if you're able to find a distressed property with a motivated seller, then that is the perfect combination for you to use one of these creative financing strategies. A person that's several months behind on their mortgage will be much more motivated to get out of that predicament without having the negative effects of a foreclosure reporting on their credit. So this puts you in a position to solve their problem for a small fee. And these are just some of the ways that you can acquire a property with no money down, bad credit, and no job. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel and ring the bell. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments below. If there's any other topics that you would like me to speak on, you can leave that down there as well. But until next time,